guys realize that your skin is your largest organ, right? Here's what happens. If you put something on your skin, it starts to mess with your hormones. It bypasses the liver, it bypasses everything else, and it goes straight to the hormonal tract, and it starts to mess with your hormones. And then we wonder why at either menopause or menstruation, we want to kill everybody that gets in our way, tear their eyes out and whatever, especially us as females, right? It's because of all the stuff that we're putting in on our body, in our body, on our body, okay? And so yoga is this path also of knowing what you're actually ingesting and taking full responsibility for it. Right? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying be aware. If you're going to do it, realize that what's going to happen are going to be the results. You're not going to feel good. By the time you're 40, you may not be feeling good. You may not even feel like getting up in the morning. It zaps your energy. All of those things that we have to take a look at. Now, the chemicals that we wear, the chemicals on our clothing that we wear have a lot to do with how we feel as well, right? Studies have shown in the journals of medicine and all the research that women, when they have taken their breast tissue and done an autopsy on them, that all of the tissue in there contains parabens. Men, the same thing. If a man, now men are developing breast cancer because of the same reason, because of all the parabens that are in our skin, our shampoo, everything else, right? And there are sources of clothing out there. For instance, these pants, this shirt, and this shirt on top are organic, made from organic cotton, okay? Yes, I pay a little bit more, but I want to make sure, being a cancer survivor twice over, you guys have known that I've been a cancer survivor twice over, I want to make sure that what I put in my body is good. And then the yoga reminds me of that. Am I eating clean? If I choose not to eat clean, then I know what's going to come next. I know how I'm going to feel. I know how my stomach's going to react. I know that I'm going to be wearing it. I know that, but I take full responsibility. So I take the measures to then do what I call a master cleanse, right? But that's choices. Do I take the right supplements because do I know that now my food doesn't have the same nutrients that it once had? So do I take the vitamins from Costco or do I take the vitamins that I choose and have researched? Right? No, I don't take the vitamins from Costco. They putrefy your stomach, right? So you have to be careful. Do I use hairspray? No, I don't use hairspray, right? Do I use gel? No, I don't use gel. I use our organic coconut oil on my hair and I draw it back, right? I choose those things mindfully. And that's what you need to do. That's what Sausha means, to deal with the purity. Now, here's the purity of the mind. Is my intention to actually help somebody pure? Am I really doing something to help somebody? Or am I just doing it for personal gain? Right? So I check with myself all the time. If I speak to you about let's say, eating right because I'm a nutritionist, is it about me getting you as a client or is it about me actually helping her? Those are the questions you have to begin to formulate. Why am I doing this? What is my intention? Is it pure of heart? Right? When I share food, am I sharing food that is good or am I sharing chemicals that's going to disrupt who I really am? When I take care of myself, when I use my organic stuff, am I totally sure that I don't smell so that my foul odor doesn't bother somebody else? right? Because you're going to get a lot of yogis that say that they're yogis and they use all this natural stuff and they've got hair coming out, you know, and all this other stuff. That's fine. That's fine, as long as it doesn't invade my senses. Because if you're invading somebody else's senses, then you're doing it for your gain and not somebody else's, right? So we have to be real careful about that, because so many people take it the opposite way. Well, I want to be pure, I want to be this, I want to be that, and okay. And I'm not saying that something's wrong with it, but remember, you are here for you to make sure that you don't violate and don't violate ahimsa, right? Am I practicing consideration toward her if I stink and I come up to her and I haven't brushed my teeth and I come up to her and I start, hi, how's it going? And she's like going, oh my God, right? Or I say, hey, how you doing? And it smells like a bunch of... No, I'm not. Am I practicing consideration? No. And so some people take it opposite and say, well, but I'm practicing Sausha. I'm not doing, you know, the chemical. Well, I don't do the chemical, but if I need to reapply my rock 3 times, 10 times a day so that I don't smell, then that's what I do. If I need to rinse my mouth out with, with the stuff that I use, because I don't use fluoride in my toothpaste, I absolutely do not use fluoride, right? Because fluoride will give you is another chemical that has been used in wartime to kill our enemy and to subdue them, right? But is my breath clean? And if it isn't clean, what am I doing, right? Am I invading somebody else's space with my notion, right, of cleanliness, right? So you have to be careful. It also, Sausha talks about putting your best foot forward. It even speaks to that in the scriptures, right? In the scriptures, how many know the scriptures that says you put your best foot forward, right? And so you always want to put your best foot forward. And now Sausha is about everything else, right? What I put into my body for her that she's pregnant, what I put into my body, whether I ingest it, whether I smell it, whether I put it here, or whatever, or if I'm around it, will ultimately affect that baby. Right? So we have to be careful, because even though we're not pregnant at the time, what we're doing now affects ourselves and our babies in the future, right? Yeah. So how many of you guys want to have babies? No? In the future. I'm not talking right now, okay? In the future. Right? So then you have to start taking care of your body now. And that's what yoga talks about, okay? It talks about that. Take care of your body. Now, here's another thing. How many of you guys dry clean your stuff? Anybody send your stuff to dry clean? The worst thing you can do is do that, because they clean it with chemicals. Oh. And then you take it and you bring it out of the plastic, and you just took a big deep breath. And you just put it all in your lungs, baby girls. Right? And then you wear it on your skin where it's going in all the way and it's messing with your stuff, right? Now, you know, there are some clothes that need to have it. So here's what you do. You come from, this is what I do, okay? So every now and then, like about once a year, I take one outfit that I have, when I wear it, I have to, it says dry clean only, right? So I take it, I take it to the dry cleaner. I ask them to tie the knot underneath it and to tie another knot on top of it. So it's all plasticed out, right? So then I go outside and I go, how many of you guys have the outside hanging, you know, what's it called in Spanish? El tendedero, thank you, el tendedero. So I go out there and I make a makeshift tendedero, right? I put it out there, and then of course I have one of these bandanas on my face, and I rip off the plastic and I run. Right? It's a hilarious thing, you know. My son so that it can air out. Then I bring it back in and then I put it in my closet. Because remember, how many of you guys have a window in your closet? No, I didn't think so. They don't make closets like that, right? Okay. In the house that I'm building, I'm putting a window in my closet, right? So anyway, so what happens is now it's contained. So if you take it off there, now you've concentrated and contaminated that whole environment with all the chemicals. Right? And here's another thing. They're now finding that the chemicals they're using are have a little bit of asbestos, and they're finding lung cancers due to the chemicals that they're using. Right? So we have to be careful with that. Yes?
I'm very